Welcome to the virtual class. Myself, Professor Pinkesh J. Patel from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. The journey of this college started in the field of engineering and technology as per the guideline of AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi in 2004, and MGTER is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to Gujarat Technological University, that is the GTU Ahmedabad. This institute is located at South Gujarat in peaceful and pollution free environment at the western region of the country. The MGTER aims to provide value based education. The motive behind to provide quality technical education at people's doorstep at an affordable cost. Not only studious activity, but there are many curriculum activity like state level tech fest, different sport activity and cultural activity held during the year at MGTER for the overall improvement of the students. Today I will start with the subject of Power System 1 having a subject code of 3140914 BE 3rd year 5th sem. So today I will start with the chapter number 1, that is the conventional generation, load curves and tariffs. So this chapter consists of different kind of power plant which can be used for the generation of electricity, then the load duration curve, that is the variation of the load versus time, then the types of the tariffs. So that all the contents that is come inside this chapter. So this is the flow of the contents. So before going for the new session, in the last lecture already we have discussed about generation scenario of different kind of power plant in India and Gujarat, then the steam power plant, then schematic diagram of the steam power plant, advantages and disadvantages. Then after we have discussed about the hydropower plant, schematic diagram of the hydropower plant, then advantages and disadvantages of the power plant, choice selection for the hydropower plant. So that is already we have discussed inside our last lecture. So today we are going for the new contents. So this is the flow of the contents: nuclear power station, schematic arrangement of the nuclear power station, nuclear reactor, gas turbine power plant, schematic arrangement of gas turbine power plant, and last one, that is the comparison of various power plants. So up to now we have discussed two power plants, that is the steam power plant, and second one, that is the hydropower plant. So now we are going for the third power plant, that is the nuclear power station. So first question, that is the what do you mean by nuclear power station? So definition of the nuclear power station, that is a generating station in which nuclear energy is converted into electrical energy, is known as a nuclear power station. So inside my previous video we have discussed about the steam power station. So for the steam power station, as a fuel we can use, that is the coal. Then after we have discussed about to the hydropower plant. So for that, as a fuel we can use, that is the water. And that is the third power plant, that is the nuclear power station. So for that we can use as a fuel, that is the uranium. So in a nuclear power station we can use heavy elements like uranium U-235 or thorium 232 are used for the nuclear fission process inside the nuclear reactor. The heat energy is released which can be utilized in raising steam at high temperature and pressure. The steam runs the steam turbine which converts the mechanical energy, then after which can rotate to the alternator, which can converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So this is the main working of the nuclear power station. So now we are going for the description regarding to the nuclear power station. The most important feature of the nuclear power station is that huge amount of electrical energy can be produced from a small amount of nuclear fuel as compared to the other power station. So it has been found that complete fission of 1 kg of uranium, that is the U-235, can produce as much energy as can be produced by the burning of 4500 tons of high grade coal. So we can get the very high amount of energy with the help of nuclear power station. At present, energy crisis is gripping as an, therefore nuclear energy can be successfully employed for producing the electrical energy. So now we are going for the some advantages of the nuclear power station. The amount of fuel required is quite small. So if we can go through a steam power station, so which can require a very high very large amount of coal, and we have to go for the coal mines also. But in this case, whatever the fuel that may require, that is up to quite small. Therefore there is a considerable saving in the cost of the fuel transportation. There is very less amount of transportation facility that may require for the nuclear power station. Second one, that is the nuclear power plant requires less space as compared to the any other power plant. Third one, that is the it has low running charges as compared to the other power plant. Then fourth one, that is the this plant is very economical for producing electrical power. Fifth one, that is the it can be locating nearer to the load center because it does not require large quantity of water and need not be near coal mines. Therefore the cost of primary distribution is reduced if we can go through a nuclear power station. Next one, that is the there are large deposits of nuclear fuels available all over the world. Therefore such plants can ensure for the continued supply of electrical energy for many years. And last one, that is the it can provide a reliable operation. So these all are the advantages of nuclear power station. Same way we are going for the disadvantages also. The fuel use is expensive and it is difficult to recover. Second one, the capital cost of a nuclear plant is very high as compared to other types of plants. Third one, the erection and commissioning of the plants require greater technical know-how. And last one, the fission byproducts are generally radioactive and may cause a dangerous amount of radioactive pollution. Here there is a one word, that is the fission. The meaning of fission is that the breaking of nuclei of heavy atoms into two nearly equal parts with release of huge amount of energy is known as nuclear fission. Now we are going for the schematic arrangement of nuclear power station. So figure shows the schematic arrangement of nuclear power station. So whole arrangement, it can be divided into following stages. First one, that is the nuclear reactor, then heat exchanger, then steam turbine, and last one, that is the alternator. So we can start with the nuclear reactor. So nuclear reactor, which is shown over here, so it is a pressure vessel and houses fuels rods of uranium, moderator and control rods, which is shown inside the next figure, which is shown over here. This is the nuclear reactor over here, in which having a control rods, then the moderator, and as a moderator material graphite can be used over there. And there is a third parameter which is shown over here, that is the uranium. So now we are going for the firstly nuclear reactor, so which consists of uranium, then the control rods and moderator, which is placed inside the nuclear reactor. Now the fuel rods, the constitute the fission material and release huge amount of energy when bombarded with slow moving neutrons. The moderator consists of graphite rods which enclose the fuel rods. The moderator slow down the neutrons before they bombard the fuel rods. The main function of moderator material, before that there is a 1 Newton that should be bombarded on the uranium material. After collision in between Newton with the uranium material, it can create more neutron, and again that Newton that can create more Newton, and after that it can create a chain reaction. So at the end there is a very large amount of neutrons that may be produced inside the reactor. The speed of that material that should be very high. So to reduce the speed of the neutron, we can go through a moderator which can slow down the speed of that neutron, and sometimes there are very large amount of neutron that may be created inside the reactor. So to control that or to absorb that neutrons or to absorb that extra neutron, so for that there is a control rod which may place inside the chain, which may place inside the reactor. So this is the function of the control rod, which can absorb the extra neutron which may created inside the reactor. Then after whatever the energy after the collision in between the Newton and uranium, which may create a very high amount of heat that may be produced over here, and that heat that may be flow in this direction, and that may flow via heat exchanger. Inside heat exchanger having water heat exchanger that is totally full of water. So whatever the hot heat that may be produced from the nuclear reactor, that may be flow via heat exchanger, and whatever the water that may be around that tubes that can try to heat the water, and again that water that may be come back to the nuclear reactor over via pump side. So after that we can go for the another figure. Whatever the water that may be placed over here, that may be in that may create a very high temperature, and from that heat water steam that may be produced, and that steam that may be go to the turbine via valve that may be shown inside the figure. Then after whatever the steam that may be produced from the heat exchanger, that may be go to the turbine with high temperature and high pressure. So with the help of high pressure, the blades of the turbine that may be in the rotating order, and whatever the hot exhaust gases that may be again go back to the condenser side. So after running of the turbine, which can convert the energy in terms of mechanical energy. Then after whatever the mechanical energy that may be again come back to the alternator, and alternator which can convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy, and that energy that may be go to the large amount of consumer via transformers, isolators and bus bar. So this is the schematic arrangement of the nuclear power station, and with the help of that power plant we can generate a very large amount of electricity which can be useful. So this is the function of nuclear reactor, heat exchanger, steam turbine and alternator, that is already we have discussed inside the schematic diagram. So this is the schematic diagram for the nuclear reactors, whereas inside that diagram only we have shown the nuclear reactor only, but what is inside the nuclear reactor which is shown over here. So this is the schematic diagram of nuclear reactor. Now we are going for the choice of site for nuclear reactor. For the choice of site for nuclear power station, which consists of availability of water, disposal of waste, third one that is the distance from populated area, and last one that is the transportation facilities. So we can start with the first one, that is the availability of water. So as sufficient water is required for cooling purposes, therefore plant site should be located where ample quantity of water is available, that is very nearer to the river side or by seaside. Second one, that is the disposal of waste. So the waste that may produce by fission in nuclear power station is radioactive, so which must be disposal of properly to avoid health problems. The waste should either be buried in a deep or disposed of in sea quite away from the seashore side. So therefore the site selected for the such plants should have adequate arrangement for the disposal of the radioactive waste. Third one, that is the distance from populated area. The site selected for the nuclear power station should be quite away from the populated area, as there is a danger of radioactivity in the atmosphere near the plant. However, as a measure, dome is used in the plant which does not allow the radioactivity to spread by wind or underground waterways. And last one, that is the transportation facilities. So the site selected for the nuclear power station should have adequate facilities in order to transport the heavy equipment during erection and facilitate the movement of workers employed in the plant. So for nuclear power plant we can require the skilled worker for the erection and maintenance purpose. So this is the points regarding to the site choice of site for nuclear power station. This is the nuclear power station which may located at Kakrapa atomic power station, and with the help of that we can generate the electricity. Now we are going for the another power plant, that is the gas turbine power plant. The definition of the gas power plant, that is a generating station which employs gas turbine as the prime mover for the generation of electrical energy, is known as a gas turbine power plant. So if we can go through a gas turbine power plant, as a fuel we can use, that is the air only. The air is compressed by the compressor and is led to the combustion chamber where heat is added to the air. Thus we can increasing the temperature. Heat is added to the compressed air either by burning of fuel in the chamber or by the use of air heaters. The hot and high pressure air from the combustion chamber is then passed to the gas turbine when it expands and does the mechanical work. Then after, gas turbine which can drive the alternator which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So this is the working of the gas turbine power plant. So now we are going for the some advantages of the gas turbine power plant. So first one, that is it is simple in design as compared to the steam power station, since there is not any boilers and there is not any auxiliaries are required in this power plant. Second one, that is, it is much smaller in size as compared to the steam power station of the same capacity. This is expected since gas turbine power plant does not require any boiler feed water arrangement as compared to the hydropower plant. Third one, that is the initial and operating costs are much lower than that of the equivalent steam power station. Next one, that is it requires comparatively less water as there is not any condenser that may require in this power plant. Then next, that is the maintenance charges are quite small. Gas turbines are much simple in construction and operation than steam turbines. It can be started quickly from cold condition. So these all are the advantages of gas turbine power plant. Now we are going for some disadvantages of the gas turbine power plant. So there is a problem for starting the unit. It is because before starting the turbine, the compressor has to be operated for which power is required from some external source. However, once the unit starts, the external power is not needed as the turbine itself supplies the necessary power to the compressor. Since a greater part of the power developed by the turbine is used in driving the compressor, the net output is very low. Next one, that is the overall efficiency of such plants is low, up to 20% only, because the exhaust gases from the turbine contain sufficient heat. And last one, the temperature of combustion chamber is quite high, so that its life is comparatively reduced. So this is the disadvantages of gas turbine power plant. Now we are going for the schematic arrangement of gas turbine power plant. So figure shows the schematic arrangement of gas turbine power plant, so which consists of total of 6 components. First one, that is the compressor, which is shown inside the figure, compressor which is shown over here. Then second one, that is the regenerator, which is shown inside the figure. Third one, that is the combustion chamber. Then fourth one, that is the gas turbine. Then alternator and starting motor, so which all the components which is shown inside the figure. So we can start with the first one. So firstly, already we have discussed about the working of the gas turbine power plant. So firstly, in a gas turbine power plant, air is used as a working fluid. Then air is compressed by the compressor and it is led to the combustion chamber, where heat is added to the air. Thus we can increases the temperature. After that, heat is added to the compressed air either by burning fuel in the chamber or by the use of air heaters. The hot and high pressure air from the combustion chamber is then passed to the gas turbine, where it expands and does the mechanical work, and the gas turbine which can drive the alternator, which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Here there is a one sentence that may be common: compressor, gas turbine and alternator which can be locating on the same shaft. After the air that may be go inside the compressor from the atmosphere, so there is a large amount of dust particles that may be placed over there. So filter that may be used to reduce the dust particles. Then after that, air that may be go to the regenerator, and via regenerator that high heat that may be go to the combustion chamber, and from the combustion chamber with high temperature and high pressure, that heat that may be go to the gas turbine, and with the help of that high heat and high pressure heat that maybe go to the gas turbine, which can try to rotating to the blades. If the blades that should be in the rotating condition, which can generate a mechanical energy, and with that, if the gas turbine that may be in the working condition, that can drive the alternator, and alternator which can be connected with the transformer, circuit breaker and isolator via bus bar, which can generate the electricity, and it may reach up to a consumer side. Now we are going for the individual function of compressor. So firstly we are going for the compressor. The compressor used in the plant is generally of rotary type. The air at atmospheric pressure is drawn by the compressor via filter, which removes the dust from the air side. The blades of the compressor push the air between stationary blades to raise or to increase its pressure. Thus, air at high pressure is available at the output of the compressor side. Now we are going for the next parameter, that is the regenerator. That is the regenerator which is shown inside the figure. A regenerator is a device which recovers heat from the exhaust gases of the turbine, which is shown inside the figure, which is shown over here. The exhaust is passed through the regenerator before wasting to the atmosphere. A regenerator consists of tubes contained in a cell. The compressed air from the compressor passes through the tubes on its way to the combustion chamber. So in this way, compressed air is heated by the hot exhaust gases. Now we are going for the third components, that is the combustion chamber. So in combustion chamber, the air at high pressure from the compressor is led to the combustion chamber via the generator. In the combustion chamber, heat is added to the air by burning oil. The oil is injected through the burner into the chamber at high pressure to ensure of oil and its through mixing with air, which result in the combustion attains very high temperature around 3000 degree Fahrenheit. The combustion gases are suitably cooled at a temperature of 1300 Fahrenheit to the 1500 degree Fahrenheit, and then delivered to the gas turbine. Now we are going for the fourth one, that is the gas turbine. The products of combustion consisting of mixture of gases at high temperature and pressure are passed to the gas turbine. These gases, in passing over the turbine blades, which expands and thus do the mechanical work. The temperature of the exhaust gases from the turbine is about 900 degree Fahrenheit. Now we are going for the fifth parameter, that is alternator. The gas turbine is coupled to the alternator. The alternator which converts the mechanical energy of the turbine into electrical energy. The output from the alternator is given to the bus bar through transformer, circuit breaker and isolator. And last one, that is the starting motor. Before starting the turbine, compressor has to be started. For this purpose, an electric motor is mounted on the same shaft as that of the turbine. The motor is energized by the batteries. Once the unit that may be started, a part of mechanical power of the turbine drives the compressor, and there is no need of motor slow. So these are the different kind of component which is connected with the gas turbine power plant. So this is the actual figure for the gas turbine power plant, which may be locating at the Vadodara station gas based power plant. Now we are going for the comparison of various power plants. So there are 4 power plants which is shown over here. that is the steam power station, hydroelectric power plant, diesel power plant, and last one that is the nuclear power plant. So having a first category, that is the site selection. So for the steam power station, such plants are located at a place where the ample supply of water and coal is available. Transportation facilities are adequate. For the hydroelectric power plant, such plants are located where large reservoirs can be obtained by constructing a dam, that is the in hilly area. So if we can go for the diesel power plant, so such plants can be located at any place because they require less space and small quantity of water. And last one, that is the nuclear power plant. So these plants are located away from the thickly population area to avoid radioactive population. Now we are going for the initial cost. So for the steam power station, initial cost is lower than those of hydroelectric and nuclear power plant, whereas inside the hydroelectric power plant, initial cost is very high because of dam construction and excavation work. For the diesel power plant, initial cost is less as compared to the other plants, and for the nuclear power plant, initial cost is highest. Now third one, that is the running cost. So for the steam power station, running cost that may be higher. For the hydroelectric power plant, there is if we can go through a practical side, so there is a zero running cost for the hydropower station. For the diesel power plant, having a highest among all the plants because of high price of diesel. And last one, that is the nuclear power plant. So for that, having a minimum running cost because small amount of fuel can produce relatively large amount of power. Fourth one, that is the limit of source of power. Coal is the source of power which has limited reserves all over the world. Hydroelectric power plant, water is the source of power which is not dependable because of wide variation in the rainfall every year. For the diesel power plant, diesel is the source of the power which is not available in huge quantity due to limited reservoirs. And for the last one, nuclear power plant, the sources of power is the nuclear fuel which is available in sufficient quantity. Now fifth category, cost of fuel transportation. So cost of the fuel transportation, that should be highest inside the steam power station, whereas inside the hydroelectric power plant which may zero. For the diesel power plant, again that cost that may be higher, and for the nuclear power plant, that cost of the fuel transportation, that should be minimum. Sixth category, that is the cleanliness and simplicity. So steam power station, that is the least clean as atmosphere is polluted due to the smoke, while hydroelectric power plant more simple and clean. Diesel power plant, that is the more clean than steam power and nuclear power plant. And last one, that is the nuclear power plant, that is the less cleaner. Seventh category, that is the overall efficiency. The efficiency for the steam power plant, that is least up to around 25%. For the hydro power plant, that is up to 85%. For the diesel power plant, having an efficiency of 35%, and nuclear power plant more efficient than steam power station. The next category, that is starting. So steam power station require lot of time for the starting purposes. Hydroelectric power plant can be started instantly. Diesel power plant can be started quickly, and nuclear power plant that can be started easily. Next category, that is the space required. These plants need sufficient space because of boilers and other auxiliaries, whereas hydroelectric power plant require very large areas because of the reservoir. Whereas if we can go through a diesel power plant which can require a less space. And last one, that is the nuclear power plant, this require a minimum space. Next category, that is the maintenance cost. The maintenance cost of the steam power plant, that is the very high, which can require a skilled operating staff, whereas for the hydroelectric power plant the maintenance cost which is low. Same way for the diesel power plant, again it may low. And last one, for the nuclear power plant, which may have a very high, as highly trained person are required to handle the plant. Next category, that is the transmission and distribution cost. So the cost of transmission and distribution cost for the steam power station, that is quite low. Same way for the hydroelectric power plant, having a very high, as it can require these are located quite away from the load centers. For the diesel power plant, again which may very less, and for the nuclear power plant, again it is low. Last one, that is the standby losses, that is the maximum, as the boiler remains in operation even when the turbine is not working. So for the hydroelectric power plant, standby losses, there is not any standby losses inside the hydroelectric power plant. Next one, that is the diesel power plant, so having a very less amount of standby losses. And again for the nuclear power plant, having a very less amount of standby losses. So these are the questions that is asked inside the GTU papers. First one, that is the explain the schematic of nuclear power station in details with necessary diagram, which asked inside the year of 2019. Second one, that is a write a short note on nuclear reactors. Third one, that is a describe the advantages and disadvantages of gas power plant. Next one, that is the explain functions of the following in relation to the nuclear power station. That is the first one, control rod, moderator, coolant and heat exchanger. Fifth one, explain the essential factors which influence the choice of site for the nuclear power station. And last one, draw block diagram of nuclear power station and explain working of nuclear power station including chain reaction. So these are the question which is asked inside the previous year. So from this lecture we have learned about nuclear power station and gas turbine power plant, then schematic diagram for both the power plant, advantages, disadvantages, then the different kind of component which is connected with both the power plant. So this is the thing that is we can learn from these lectures. So inside the next lecture we can start with the load curves, load duration curves and tariffs, and different definitions which is different terms which is related to the load duration curve and load curve, and tariffs and classification of the tariffs. So that all things that we can start in the next lecture. Thank you.